So, what is consumer equilibrium? It refers to a situation wherein a consumer gets maximum satisfaction out of his given income and he has no tendency to make any change in his existing expenditure. So, in short, how can we say what is a consumer equilibrium? A point where the consumer is able to get the maximum satisfaction. And how is able to get the satisfaction? When he is spending a certain part of expenditure on the purchase of certain goods, and through that only he is driving his satisfaction. Clear? So what are the assumptions of consumer equilibrium? We have four basic assumptions. The first one, rational consumer. Rational consumer means a person who is rational consumer is one who wants to get maximum satisfaction out of his given income only. So he is not using his other part of the income, or only a certain part of the income he is using, like he is not borrowing from someone. So that is the rational consumer who wants to get the satisfaction out of the given income only. Then we have the cardinal utility. That means the utility or the satisfaction, it must be measured in terms of the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. The next assumption is independent utility. So what does it mean? It is assumed that the utility that a consumer gets from the commodity depends upon the quantity of that very commodity alone. It is not affected by the consumption of other goods. That means if he is buying any one commodity, he must get the satisfaction out of that commodity only, and he is not supposed to buy another commodity out of it and get the satisfaction. Clear? So independent utility, independent consumption or satisfaction should be there. Then the fourth assumption, marginal utility of money is constant. So it is assumed that money measures the marginal utility of the commodity. As such, its own marginal utility should remain constant so as to serve as an ideal measure. What does it mean? So when we talk about the money only can measure the commodity. With the help of money only we are able to buy the commodity, isn't it? So the satisfaction which we are able to get, it should be from the constant money only, not it should not be changing. A part of the income should be used, not we are increasing the money and we are getting the satisfaction out of it. It shouldn't be like that. Clear? Then after this we have the next heading, marginal utility analysis and consumer equilibrium. So now how much of the commodity a consumer buys so he maximizes his satisfaction and attains a point of equilibrium. So we can say it depends upon the consumer to consumer that how much a commodity a person is buying to get the satisfaction. So with reference to this situations, we have two different situations. The first one, when only one commodity is consumed. The second one, when two or more commodities are consumed. So when we are over here, we are talking about when only one commodity is consumed. Purchase of the commodity by a consumer depends upon three factors. What are the three factors which is affecting the purchase of the commodity? First one, price of the commodity, then marginal and the total utility of the commodity, then marginal utility of money. So three basic factors, they are depending upon the purchase of the commodity by the consumer. First is price, then satisfaction, then the how much money is the customer is willing to just spend on the purchase of a good. Now what is marginal utility of money? It would be more clear with the help of example. Listen to it carefully. For example, if a rupee can buy 100 kg of sugar, 500 gram of rice, 500 gram of salt. Clear? These are the basic standard units, gram we are using. And if the total utility from these goods is, we can say 4 utils to the consumer. So consumer is able to get the satisfaction equal to 4 units. Then 4 is to be taken as a marginal utility of money. That means the standard units which he is able to get out of the consumption of goods. Clear? So this is the marginal utility of money. After this, have a look at the graph, at the table, marginal utility schedule of commodity X. Units of commodity X and the marginal utility in utils is given. So using the scale that 2 utils is equal to 1, it is expressed that marginal utility in terms of rupees. It is there. So when we are converting it into the form of 2 rupees, this is in the first table, table 3 shows the utility in terms of utils only. When we are converting it into rupees and we are assuming that 2 util is equal to 1 rupee. So when we divide in the second table 4, when we divide each of the utils marginal utility by 2, we are able to get the marginal utility in terms of money. That is marginal utility of money. Clear? So before studying the table, it's there, let marginal utility of the money for the consumer is equal to 2 utils referring to rupee 1. It is already given. And let X be the commodity he intends to buy. So X is a commodity he is willing to buy, and PX is the price of the commodity, which is equal to rupees 4 per unit. Moving ahead, now comes a basic question: how many units of X the consumer will purchase in the case to be in the state of equilibrium? So how many units a consumer is required to purchase in order to be in the state of equilibrium? Watch it very carefully. Will he buy first unit? So in the first, if he buys the first unit, what are the options? Marginal utility is equal to 20 utils, isn't it? We are using the same data which is there in the previous page. So the 20 units worth rupees 10 when we divide it by 2, and while the price for the commodity is rupees 4 per unit. What he pays rupees 4 is less than what he gets rupees 10. So everything is in front of you. He pays rupees 4 and he is able to get the worth of rupees 10. So will the consumer buy the first unit of the X? Yes, he will buy. Clear? Second, marginal utility of the commodity is 18 utils. When we divide it by 2, we get 9. So he get the goods worth rupees 9 while he is spending money as price of the commodity is rupees 4. So what he pays is rupees 4, which is less than what he gets, that is rupees 9. So in this case also he must buy the second unit of X. Clear? So continuing like this, he will stop buying X only when. So when will he stop buying X? Again, you can have the look at the same figures. When he will stop buying X, you can see at 4, he is able to spend rupees 4 only per unit, and he is able to get good worth rupees 4. Isn't it? No profit is there. So over there marginal utility of commodity is equal to price of the goods. So in this case, in the consumption of unit 4, he will stop buying these goods. It occurs only when consumer buys 4 unit of the commodity X. Hence, marginal utility of X is equal to price of X, which is equal to 4. So till 4 he will buy the goods. After that he will stop buying the goods as it is becoming 0 and then negative. So after we plot out the given table in the form of this graph, on x-axis it's consumption of the commodity, and on y-axis it's marginal utility and the price of the commodity. So you can have a look at the graph. What happened to the marginal utility? It is diminishing. As per the law of diminishing marginal utility, it is diminishing. And what happened to the price? Price is constant. It is 4 rupees only. It neither increase nor decrease. So at point C, where we are able to have the marginal utility is equal to 4 utils, and where the price is also 4, at point C, that is called the point of equilibrium. Why it is called the point of equilibrium? Because price of X is equal to marginal utility of X in terms of rupees. Clear? So this is the consumer equilibrium. Read out till here for today. Thank you and have a nice day.